145-502-037 and 145-502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy. If the answer to any of these questions is no, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRE NMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message. I do deliver it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-803-1990. Before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender. William Rogers, Ascend Business Advisory, is with us. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me this morning.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Of course, we celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. We just getting in. We're in America. We're not trying to climb a fence. We've got a lot to celebrate here every day. But then again, we also have to look and see what are some of the fun things. Obviously, the Wednesday following Thanksgiving, the Rockefeller Center tree lighting is today. Yeah, that should be some enjoyment if you are watching us from the New York City area. National Package Protection Day. And you better watch out for those packages. I've seen a lot of postings, a lot of social media commentary about packages being stolen from your front porch. Just keep the front door open. Let the Amazon man or the UPS man, FedEx man, UPS or post office, let them just bring the packages right in. But for those of us that have beaten anorexia, today is, drum roll please. Yeah, it's National French Toast Day. Yeah, there's a couple of types out there that are pretty good to chew on. Checking out the markets. Wow. I'm looking at the markets. When I left for the studio this morning, we were up about 150 points. Right now, we are looking at a 388-point gain in the market. I am looking at oil up just a very, very minimal amount on the oil market. We're up 4 cents per barrel on oil. I don't even want to think about what that means right here in this state of confusion. Where are we at? I think I saw 19 states now that have gasoline prices under $2 a gallon, 19 states. Obviously, that would not include California because we're over $1 a gallon more than the national average. We're at 358.4. National average, 252.7. Lowest place in the country, we're still looking at Missouri at 215.5 a gallon. Think about that, 215.5 a gallon in Missouri, 358 in California, almost double. Maybe not quite double, but it's still enough to get us a little bit upset here. But hey, you know something?
This is ridiculous.
We still vote for the same people to keep doing these things to us. Hey, we got a choo-choo coming, though, so I should get a choo-choo sound effect here, guys. That way we got a choo-choo coming, so we're not worrying about our roads. We can pay more in taxes. Unbelievable how that continues to happen. I think we hit something wrong there. Hey, you know, I've had quite a few people challenge me in the last several days about this climate change report. Now, we have to call it climate change because it used to be global warming when Al Gore came out with this one. It was global warming that we had to worry about. Now it's climate change. Well, a great article coming out of the Wall Street Journal talking about climate change and Investors Business Daily, two different articles. You will not hear these in the lame street media. They will not share this information. You're not going to get it on the Cannabis News Network. You're not going to get it on MSNBC Hee-Haw. So here's some of the numbers for you. This is Coleman Jenkins. Wall Street Journal came at discussing the climate change and how we've got these dire consequences coming. And the consequences, according to the administration's report, are that we're going to have a 10% cut in economic growth by the end of the century. Now, obviously, there will be very few of us here by the end of the century, but that is, they're talking about 10% cut in economic growth. Here's the assumptions, because anytime you look at some of these reports, right, they have to put some assumptions in there. Now, when we talk about tax cuts, we never talk about the idea of increased business. Those are assumptions that cannot be made. Ask Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. We cannot use those numbers when it comes to tax cuts. That will not spur the economy. Just ask them. They will be the first to tell you. And I think I had Nancy coming in here and giving us a little information on that, but maybe I can't find her.
So I know who's asked to kick.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I don't hear President Obama talking at all about all the jobs he saved at GM right now. I mean, I guess that was when the things go well for the Trump administration, President Obama is to credit. When you have the problem like this with the GM jobs, that would not be, I think President Obama went on vacation for that. But let's get back to this climate change report and the assumptions. Okay, so the assumptions are rapid growth for the remainder of the century, that really rapid population growth for the remainder of the century. Yeah, they came out with that in the climate change report, but the demographers, they did not forecast that. So we'll wonder what is the issue there. Where did they get their information on climate change? Global, now if we had it, if it was freezing, I could understand where there might be rapid population growth. Maybe people want to cuddle just a little bit more. I digress. Technological change will be minimal, according to the assumptions. Really? So if the scientists see that there's a benefit to or a financial gain in dealing with this, they're not going to do anything about it. So there's not going to be any technological changes. There will not be any or very minimal energy efficiency changes. Someone better tell that to our friends over at Tesla, because we're not going to get any energy efficiency. I think my friend Brent Humphreys listens every once in a while. His Tesla will probably be obsolete. They won't be dealing with that at all anymore. Well, could be. Well, we'll move on. Improvements in energy. Here's the next one. This is great. The world's going to take more carbon out of the ground in the next century than is in existence. Now, here's the quote right from the report. extraction of large amounts of unconventional hydrocarbon resources well beyond the presently extractable reserves. So they're going to take more carbon out of the earth than there is in the earth, and that is one of their assumptions. The point here is you got to check the assumptions. When you look at these reports and you tell me, well, we've got this climate change coming, look at the assumptions. Do these assumptions make any sense to you? Now, have you ever heard of an organization called NASA? Yeah, they've got a pretty decent reputation of getting things done. Another report that you will not hear in the Lame Street media, this came out in Investors Business Daily. From February 2016 to February 2018, global average temperature has dropped 0.5 degrees Celsius. Wait, it dropped in the last 2 years? How could that possibly be? We're dealing with global warming. That's the biggest 2-year drop in a half a century. Again, totally ignored by the media. How do we, in a society that is based on checks and balances, the media has a major task in this society, but they're abdicating their responsibility because it doesn't fit their agenda. We need a media that's going to actually tell us what's legitimately happening, not what they want to be happening. Another issue. Take a look at this one. George Soros's Open Society Foundation. Are you aware that he's also funding the groups that are funding? So they try and hide this from everybody. So there is a group in Chicago that Mr. Soros donates heavily to, and that is it's La Familia. That's the same organization that's paying for all the migrants to be coming up here. Now, I know nobody's paying them, but mysteriously they've gotten in buses and they've gotten in cars and they're so oppressed. They've gotten food, they've got bathrooms, they've got clothing, they've got tents, but nobody's paying for all that. Mexico is doing that out of the goodness of their heart. You got to just watch these things and see if they make any sense to you. Follow the news or follow these information. We'll keep sharing it with you because, again, you will not get it on MSNBC. You will not get it on the Cannabis News Network. They're not going to tell you these things. It all affects your money because supply and demand is a major issue in everything we do. If we keep bringing in low-priced labor, what do you think that's going to do to our job market? Do you think it's going to keep pushing up the labor market and average wages? I didn't even mention the fact that wait a second. President Obama was telling us that we would never see 3% GDP. Well, we got the second reading of GDP again today, 3.5%. It came out this morning about 5:30 California time. 3.5%. It would never happen. I'm sure that President Obama is responsible for it. He'll tell us all of that, I'm sure. But you've got to make your own decisions. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, tax planning strategies for the end of the year. Now is the time. You have to plan for taxes. Next year is when you're going to report them. You don't do your planning then. You do the planning now. So we are going to speak with William Rogers about that. 24% of renters believe winter is the best time to buy a home. Wonder where they heard that one from. And reasons online shopping isn't as cheap as you think it is. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990, or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message. And as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs and the products for you. What is happening in the mortgage market right now? What is happening in the markets right now? A lot of information to digest, and I'm going to try and get it to you as quickly as possible. We'll give you the what first. Obviously, we look at that every day for you. And again, that's all public information. Dow Jones up 439 points right now. NASDAQ up 117. Why isn't the 10-year Treasury moving anymore? It's down just a little bit right now. So we're going to look at that. The Fannie Mae 30-year bond up 3 basis points, which means interest rates are down ever so slightly. Not a whole lot of movement there, but why is all of this happening? Well, stocks up 300 points on Friday, up close to 100 points yesterday. As I mentioned, we're up 445 right now. Well, I have a feeling that since I've been on the air and I didn't check it during the break, must have got some interesting information from the Federal Reserve Chairman. He was speaking at the Economic Club of New York, 9 o'clock a.m. our time. So we're going to check that during the next break, see what he's had to say about that. We are expecting a hike next month and then probably not again until March of 2019, as a hike at the January meeting would not fit into their quote-unquote gradual plan. When Eastern time, we get the results of the 7-year Treasury notes, so we'll be watching that one for you as well. Mortgage Bankers Association reported that mortgage application volume increased by 5.5% last week. Applications to purchase a home were up 9% and are now up 1.7% from this time last year. Refinances were up 1% last week, but they're down 35% from this time last year. The average 30-year mortgage decreased from 5.12 to 5.12 from 5.16, about 92 basis points higher than it was last year at this time. I told you earlier the second look at third quarter GDP was 3.5% up That's a good number. But here's where the convolution comes in. New home sales, which measures signed contracts on new homes, showed that sales fell 9% in October. That is a big number. The previous month saw big revisions, though, to the upside, exaggerating the loss today. If we look at the originally reported figure for the previous month and compare it to today's release, sales are still down, but only by 1.6%. With that being said, sales are still down 12% year over year and have been slowing, but that is a slight improvement from down 13% in the previous report of year over year numbers. Median home price, this is a national number, so don't get too excited, California. The median home price, $309,000, down 3.1% year over year, while the average sales price was $395,000. Inventory levels grew quite a bit, from $327,000 to $366,000. That is now a 7.4 month supply at the current rate of sales. That puts us onto the buyer's market side. We spoke with Linda Eisenman about that a little bit yesterday. And finally, some news from Fannie and Freddie. They came out with their new lending limits yesterday. Los Angeles County, your lending limit, $726,525. That is the same for Orange County. San Diego's a little bit less at $690,000. Riverside and San Bernardino, you're both at $384,350. Those will be the 2019 lending limits for both Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. Whew, a lot of stuff right there. I hope you got all of it. Again, if you missed any of those numbers, the replay will be available on ronsiegelradio.com by tomorrow. And the YouTube will be up by the end of the day today. But let's talk about one of our least favorite subjects. But we've got one of our favorite people here to chat about it. Taxes, and it's time to chat with our friend William Rogers. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing real well. I think that was a lot to pack in.
And now that we've packed in all those numbers and the illogic, we can talk about taxes.
I didn't realize that there's a $300,000 discount over in San Bernardino. We're not that far on the 91.
Right, exactly.
It just feels like we can throw a stone and it's $300,000 less.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing, isn't it?
I just was trying to absorb that.
So let's chat. And unfortunately, for those of our friends out in the Palm Springs, Palm Desert area, they're in that Riverside County number. So even though they've got some properties that are a lot more money, they're still dealing with that same lending limit out there.
Right.
So talk to me about taxes. I mean, we're getting close to the end of the year. We need to figure out, what are we going to do?
Yeah, I mean, obviously as we're getting, towards year end, a lot of the chatter is, by the way, a lot of people who are, either on the fence or trying to resolve, a divorce, they better get it done before December 21st. Otherwise, those alimony agreements are no longer deductible per the new tax law.
That's an interesting one. Go back and let's explain that one a little further.
So basically what has traditionally happened over time is that whenever there's been a divorce separation and that the spouse makes spousal payments, what we call alimony, those have traditionally been deductible, and then the recipient spouse would recognize as income. Is one of the changes, as we've had numerous changes under this tax law, is to now disallow alimony deductions. Therefore, the recipient spouse doesn't pay tax on the income. So that kicks in for divorce decrees effective after December 21st of 2018. So basically,
after December
21st of this year.
Okay.
So basically, the bottom line is that those people who are trying to, resolve their issues need to get it done before December 21st, because otherwise, basically, what's going to happen is it's no longer going to be deductible for any of those alimony payments that someone has to make.
So to the government, it's a null effect, right? Because you said it's not deductible to the payor, and now the recipient doesn't have to claim it
as income, right?
And that's only on new transactions. That's so not on older ones.
Yeah, basically, in other words, there are numerous people. I always get the question on who's already in an existing agreement or they've had to go back to the court to modify things. Those are grandfathered in. We're basically talking about new divorce decrees.
Okay, so that's a biggie, especially if you're because unfortunately, we spoke about this on Monday, I believe it is, that when we were speaking, Attorney Christine Kingston was in, and we were talking about bankruptcy. And, there was some discussion about some of these different issues of what's deductible, what's not deductible, and when things kick in for the benefits of purchase. And you need to know these things. But
also what's interesting for your perspective, Ron, as a lender, it's going to be kind of an interesting dynamic because a lot of times you need a tax return. So there are numerous ex-spouses who receive a substantial amount of income via alimony.
Sure.
And if it's no longer taxable, how do we underwrite that? That I get, say, $8,000 a month tax-free income. You're not going to have a 1040. And then the spouse who basically gets Social Security, I have non-taxable, alimony, and then eventually they start getting their Social Security. They can have a tremendous amount of tax-free income.
Sure.
Which you don't have a traditional 1040 and filing requirement.
Well, the fun of that is you have to save your paperwork. One of the documents we always ask for, and we get this question, Mark, and I'm glad you brought that up, is why do you ask for my divorce decree? As a lender, if your lender's not asking for the full divorce decree, they're not doing their job to the best benefit, to your best benefit. Because exactly what you're saying is we get to gross that up, just like we do non-taxable child support and non-taxable Social Security.
Right.
It gets to be grossed up as long as we can document that it's lasting at least 3 more years into the future. So it's a great point right there. Right. So that's a big issue. So we need to make sure the divorces, if you're thinking about January divorces, which it is the biggest time of the year for divorce, well, maybe you want to do it a little sooner.
Yeah, because otherwise if you're the payer spouse who's basically on the short end of the stick who has to end up paying out each month, it's going to cost you more after-tax dollars.
Right.
So basically it behooves of you to resolve your differences before December 21st.
Okay, so that's a biggie. December 21 is a big day for the divorce world.
Yeah,
okay.
I say it's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what other items do we have to plan?
I think that, particularly for those clients out there who are seniors who are subject to what we call required minimum distributions, those who are older than 70 and a half, they're basically getting what we call these mandatory distributions from the IRAs and their qualified plans. Under this new tax law, we have a larger standard deduction. So the thought process might be, because I've seen a pattern with numerous of my clients basically say, well, I really don't need the money from the required minimum distribution to live on because I've got, other income sources. So therefore, you may want to consider what's called a charitable rollover, because many people do end up giving monies to charity. But if you structure and designate that the required minimum distribution goes straight to a charity, I don't have to recognize that income. Because the point I'm trying to make, if you're already giving money to charity and with a larger standard deduction, you're not going to be able to deduct that charitable contribution. So therefore, we want to save the tax from having to recognize the income.
Okay.
So that's essentially what the strategy is. And I recommend for those who don't really need the money or they want to designate part of the required minimum distribution.
So, and those individuals, we want to make sure that they're taking I would assume I should ask you this because you're the expert, not me, is take the distribution that's going to get you to using your full deduction, and maybe you want to put that into a Roth IRA if you don't need it.
You'd put it into a Roth IRA, or those who wanted to, give and designate some items to charity.
Right.
Then I can roll it over directly. The benefit is I don't recognize income. So if I do it as a Roth IRA, I still maintain the assets.
But maybe I'm missing some
tax on it.
But what I'm saying is the person that their RMD doesn't get them to the full standard deduction. Take as much as you need to get to that full deduction this year because you don't know what next year is going to bring.
Possibly,
right?
Yeah. The RMD, in terms of doing as a Roth conversion, you're just recognizing in terms of in the income. So what some people often, when we're talking in seniors, might be looking at different stratas of income, because if they're, married filing joint, and as we're getting over, $43,000 of income, then, essentially more of my Social Security benefits get taxed. So they kind of look at where they're at in the overall income spread. And also too, keep in mind, seniors are given an extra standard deduction. So when they're thinking in the past, well, I'm trying to give a little bit more to charity, a lot of those are going to be watered away. And then if we don't have substantial amounts of mortgage interest, they're really not going to be itemizing their deductions. So the reality is if I've got enough income that I need, then I obviously want to try to limit the taxation of the proceeds that I'm realizing.
Gotcha. We're going to continue our conversation. William Rogers is in the house, and we are chatting. He's at Send Business Advisory, is the name of his company, talking tax planning strategies for the end of the year. 24% of renters believe winter is the best time to buy a house. Reasons online shopping isn't as cheap as you might think. And I'm going to tell you why the stock market is skyrocketing right now. I'll tell you that all when we come back. You can reach me anytime off air. Number 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Siegel Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender. Licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com, or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message. And as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. So I did do a little bit of quick analysis while we were on the break there. It is the commentary of the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell that is really pushing markets to higher levels this morning. Chairman came out and said we're pretty close to neutral on the Fed funds rate, which means they may not be raising rates as much as they had originally anticipated next year. Also saying that it's not having a whole lot of effect on the economy. The interest rates themselves are neither helping nor hindering the economy. So that's why we're seeing the stock market take a big jump right now. Obviously, I shared this with you before, up 443 points as we speak. 24% of renters believe winter is the best time to buy a home. In real estate, the spring is often seen as the ideal time to buy a house or to sell a house. The term spring buyer's season exists for a reason, as renters and those looking to move on from their current home thaw out from the winter and hit the market ready to buy. According to Bank of America's annual Home Buyer Insights report, 41% of renters surveyed agreed that spring is the best time to buy a home. The surprising result, however, is that when ranking the seasons, winter comes in second at 24%. I shared the chart with you on our social media channels earlier today. A lot more to it. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it right now. I put a whole posting of information on that on all of the social media, ronsiegelradio.com and Ron Siegel Radio on Facebook. So you can get that whole issue right there. We might chat about it a little bit more tomorrow. I want to save as much time as we can. For our featured guest today, William Rogers is in the house. Don't get an awful lot of or opportunities to talk about how you can save money on your taxes. So we're going to focus on that with William. We've talked about divorce already, talked about seniors and their required mandatory distributions. If you missed any of those, the replays will be available within the next 24 hours on ronsiegelradio.com, within the next 12 hours on YouTube, so you can get the information there. What's next on our tax planning agenda, William?
Well, we are in the time of the year where people like to go away for the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas. And what I always try to suggest to my clients out there is, rent your home out. And they say, why? Well, we're in a world now, people love to go Airbnb as opposed to Marriott and the Hilton. And, under our tax law, you rent your home out for less than 14 days a year. It's tax-free. You don't have to report as income.
Wow.
So that's a bonus.
Yeah.
And you get to put money in your pocket. And where I'm at in San Diego, it's kind of like what we call the trendy thing to do. People boast about going on VRBO or Airbnb and renting out homes or condos and townhomes. And I always recommend that people's that as you're making your plans, give it some thought. Maybe rent your place out and make a little money for it and put some money in your pocket tax-free.
I find that one fascinating, William, because, I don't know. I'm going to make an assumption here because I know the area that you live in. People spend a boatload of money to put in Ring doorbell, and they put in cameras, and they put in security systems, all to protect themselves from the individual that they have no clue who they are, right, getting into their house. And then they go on Airbnb and rent out their house to someone who they have no clue who they are. It always fascinates me, the divergence there, how we spend so much money to protect our house, and then we'll go on an Airbnb or VRBO and rent it out to somebody that we don't know.
We're just kind of a world of contradictions that we're just always trying to figure out.
Right? Isn't that? I just find that fascinating.
Maybe it's those same people who are worried about a caravan, but yet they go on Airbnb and go and rent to a caravan.
Right.
And about those things.
Fascinating. Okay, so we We found some rent-free income. I like that one. Tax-free income.
Tax-free income.
Tax-free
We always
income.
look for what's called the end-of-year bonus, where we can put some money into our pocket and it's tax-free by benefit of our tax code.
Okay.
It's buried in there.
Well, that's one of the things that I share all the time, William, is that you've got to spend time just understanding and listening to the people that know what they're doing, right? Because I would never find some of these little, I shouldn't say maybe they're not even little, but these obscurities within the code, right? That are advantageous without chatting with you.
The thing is that one of the things that we kind of have to realize what technology has done is made it feasible, whereas people, a lot of times, unless I had a cabin in Big Bear or I had a place down, at Balboa Island on the water, people never really considered it, where you're just out in what we call a typical, neighborhood or community. But now, because of the internet, and I can put these up, I find all kinds of people from all swaths and different, neighborhoods for whatever reason who are finding success on it, on VRBO and Airbnb. And also, too, I have found people, believe it or not, that, that they've had a music video shot at their property, that they had to rent it for whatever scene, or they had to rent their property, that they wanted to do a wedding or event or all kinds of things. Because of the internet and the fact that now we can reach the masses, now you've opened up a larger audience who you might have something useful for your property that someone just doesn't want to take a family of 8 to a hotel. They just want to rent a 4-bedroom house.
Yeah, and something, in our circle of friends, we'll look at a 4-bedroom house. Sometimes 3 or 4 couples are happy to rent that.
Yeah.
And even if you spend $1,000 a night for a 4-bedroom house, it's cheaper than going to a Marriott or a Ritz-Carlton or something like that.
It is, and think about it. And when you're talking about, kind of the ironic contradiction of the people with the gated communities, the Ring doorbells, yet we'll rent out an Airbnb. We're not going to drive and rent a car at Hertz. We're going to call Lyft and Uber to a complete stranger versus taking Yellow Cab. It's just this kind of become the sign of the times.
It is.
That's our new kind of Starbucks to say, hey, I'm taking a Lyft.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It is.
So that's just basically in terms of that. So I kind of recommend in terms of people's, give it a try, and then you can go and share in terms of your Airbnb story.
So we're saving tax money. Now we're getting tax-free income. We've talked about divorce. We're going to see what else William's got up his sleeve. When we come back, you're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. We're going to also chat a little bit. Is it real? Are you really saving money when you're buying online? We'll talk about that as well. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market?
To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRENMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. They all are. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has these solutions for you. Reasons online shopping isn't as cheap as you think. People aren't just spending more time online shopping. They're spending more money too. 71% of shoppers believe they get better deals online than in stores, but it turns out online shopping isn't as cheap as you'd like to think. Clever marketing tactics like free shipping, exclusive price drops, and add-ons can fool consumers into thinking they're getting the best deal, but we're here to help you dodge the deceit. Continue with this. Free shipping isn't really free. A remarkable 88% of consumers say free shipping makes them more willing to shop online. Unbelievable. A factor even more critical than same-day shipping and simple return process. Retailers push you to spend just $7.67 to qualify for quote-unquote free shipping, often encouraging you to purchase something you don't really need, all in the name of avoiding those pesky shipping costs. And it works. But the adage, nothing in life is free, holds true to offer free shipping. Many retailers increase the price of products to cover the expense. This isn't to say that all free shipping deals are a ripoff. Just remember to take free shipping offers with a grain of salt. Number 2, bulk doesn't mean cheaper. Number 3, ads target you when you're most vulnerable. You've heard that you should never go to grocery store when you're hungry. Well, online shopping attacks when you're starving, metaphorically speaking, of course. Those wonderful cookies across the web enable ads to follow you everywhere. Unbelievable. Have you ever noticed that when you go out there shopping, that online, that all of a sudden, if you look up, say, tennis shoes, all of a sudden tennis shoes are coming up on everything you look at? Unbelievable. That abandoned shopping cart follows you. You enter the supermarket, get distracted when passing the entertainment department, pick up a new movie you've wanted to see and toss it in the shopping cart. Before leaving the store, you decide you'll rent the movie on Redbox instead. You remove the movie from your shopping cart. The decision is made, out of sight, out of mind. The same isn't true with online shopping. Now you add the item to your cart, decide not to make the purchase. The retailer isn't going to let you forget about it. They're going to start pushing you notifications. And then when you go back there again, oh, lo and behold, it's back in the cart again. You got to watch out for it. Be careful. That's the bottom line of what I'm getting to with all of this. Just buyer beware. That is the Your Credit Matters segment, brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. So we are chatting this morning. William Rogers, Ascend Business Advisory, is in the house telling us how we can tax plan. We talked about divorce. We talked about seniors. We've talked about non-taxable income that you may not have thought about. What's next?
Well, a lot of chatter, what you're going to hear a lot of discussion from, a number of your clients as well as, people made money in the stock market. So they've made some gains. They've sold off some stocks. People sold off a property, made a gain. They've sold a business, made a gain. What can I do? I've got this one-time hit. Well, we got a new little gem here in our tax law called a opportunity zone. Brand new tax benefit, which basically says that I can defer recognition of the capital of the tax if I reinvest the proceeds into a qualified opportunity fund, and I have up until 6 months to make that determination. In other words, I get a lot of people saying, you know what, I just sold a property, I sold my business, and they're scrambling to figure out what to do. You got 6 months to make up your mind. As opposed to, you don't have to do it right now. That is huge compared to a typical like-kind exchange where I had to coordinate it via escrow. I needed to get an accommodator. You had to kind of structure. Then I had to find a replacement property. This is huge because it's not just limited to real estate. People sold off stocks, sold a business, sold a piece of property like their residence. It opens up a huge swath of people out there who come to me that all of a sudden we're feeling good. We're just trying to, take the chips off the table and realize a profit. What do I do?
So explain that. A qualified reinvestment, you said?
Well, the qualified opportunity zone is part of what the tax code, the new Tax Cuts Jobs Act created, was trying to attract capital to what we call distressed communities throughout the U.S. And essentially what it did is it gave the freedom to each of the governors to designate those what we call impoverished or distressed areas to be what are called qualified zones. So what that means is if a developer or businesses establish themselves in those zones, they can realize tax benefits. So from a capital gains perspective, just plain simply from a layman's perspective is I'm allowed the opportunity is that if I make a substantial gain by selling off my property and I reinvest in a fund that is developing, let's say, an apartment units in a distressed community, I get to defer recognition of the tax because I'm reinvesting my proceeds into a fund. That's huge for a lot of people.
Sure. Absolutely. That's a great one. And you have 6 months to do it.
You have 6 months to choose. So you may have people coming back or coming into my office in January, February, March that said, you know what, William, I'm not feeling as bullish about the market. So I just started selling off my Apple and Facebook, or someone sold a business, they're getting ready to retire, or they wanted to sell off a property. And I got this huge capital gain. They got up till 6 months.
Okay. So we just you're going to have to identify that, I guess, in your tax filing.
You make the election, and then you got 6 months.
Okay, so make the election in your 2018 taxes, and then you have 6 months to finalize. Wow, that's
from the date of sale. Yeah, it's huge.
Wow, that's so from the date of sale. So if I sold in August, then I have to be done by February.
Right.
Okay.
But that's a huge amount of leeway.
Absolutely.
For a lot of people.
Especially most people don't know about that. So that's a real biggie.
It's brand new this year.
Right.
It's a creation as of the new tax law. So this is brand new.
Okay, that's great. That's a great one. I think maybe we have time for one more, maybe two.
Well, in terms of those people out there, as I always end up emphasizing to a lot of people who are self-employed is got to have a home office, and they're going to say, why? Well, as you're going to realize out here in California, we have higher property taxes, our state income taxes and everything, I need to start getting some of that onto a business schedule, which is part of those property taxes.
Okay.
Because we're limited to $10,000.
Okay.
So whatever we can do to basically, if we can start renting out portions of our home, or we can have a home office and we're self-employed. Now we're able to start allocating some of what was personal deductions to a proper business schedule, and we can at least realize some of those deductions what ordinarily would have been lost.
Okay, and I think last time you were in, you told me that the home office deduction is no longer a big red flag for auditing.
No, times is in terms of this change. The keep in mind is an employee W-2 wage earner, those deductions have been disallowed. So we're really only talking about, those Schedule C self-employed, taxpayers out there.
So that 2106s are gone?
It's gone under the new tax law.
Okay. So it's got to be a biz owner, but now it could be a sole proprietorship.
Sole proprietor, yes.
Okay, so sole proprietors are okay.
Sole proprietor partners.
So we need to make sure that
we're getting some sort of a home office, because essentially when we're looking at, our property taxes, DMV, and our state and income taxes, a lot of people are going to exceed the $10,000 limit. So if you want to get some of that back, it's just best, it would behoove of us to allocate some to what we call business or rent out part of our home.
And I've heard quite a bit lately about the tax plan, how bad it is for Californians and New Yorkers because of the disallowed
the limit on
limits, the disallowed. So that's kind of a way of mitigating some of that.
It's part of it where we're just trying to allocate some to what we can to other legitimate use, renting out a portion of our home, or if we can, have a home office.
Well, I'm glad you threw that in there, really, William, because you did hit or key me on one issue that I did neglect. And that is, just remember that William's giving us a lot of different tools or options or information. They may or may not be suitable for your needs. William's educating. He's not giving you any kind of professional guidance here. So if you want the professional guidance, just give me a call at 800-306-1990 so I can introduce you to William. I'll have his contact information. We'll put it on the website as well. But just remember that everything is and I'm sure there's a whole lot more that we can't get through in an hour's broadcast, right? So we want to make sure that the bottom line to all this is guidance. You need professional guidance. Now, you probably wouldn't even known about the divorce issue if we hadn't shared that with you, because it's something brand new. William told us about this RMD for our seniors, right? That's all new items here, the opportunity zone, new items here, right? So you want to make sure that you're getting this information, you're talking to a professional. And I'll share a real quick story with you. And this goes back about 20 years, 25 years. And I was a hotshot kid coming out, maybe it was even more than that, coming out of college. And I had got degrees in accounting, marketing, and management over at what's now Chapman University. And I went and started discussing my taxes with my parents' tax advisor. And he knew my situation a little bit. And he asked me, did you take this deduction? I said, no. And he said, did you take this deduction? I said, no. And did you take this deduction? I said, no. And he said, well, that right there would have saved you about $900 in taxes. And this goes back to the early 80s. And oh, by the way, I charge $175 to do your taxes. Now, I don't know that you can get taxes done for $175 anymore. But my point is, he saved me 4 times the amount of my cost of taxes, or would have if I wouldn't have been so smart thinking I could do it on my own. And I know we've got QuickBooks and we've got Intuit and TurboTax and all that these days, but they don't know these questions. That's why you need to talk to a professional like William to get this information. And that's why I ask you every day to set that first radio preset button to come back here every day and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John, who's engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.